I am 101 years old. People usually approach me with the same look in their eyes, a mixture of curiosity and disbelief. They take in my slow steps, the lines on my hands, the way my voice carries years inside it. Then they ask the question they've already decided matters most. How did you make it this far? They expect a simple answer. Something neat, something practical, a habit they can copy, a food they can avoid, a rule that promises safety. But I didn't reach 101 because I protected my body perfectly. I reached 101 because I learned how to live with a heart that kept breaking and still chose not to harden. I was born into a world that did not wait for feelings. We didn't speak about being afraid. If you were tired, you worked anyway. If you were overwhelmed, you swallowed it and kept going. That was the rhythm of life. You endured, you moved forward, and you did not ask for softness. As a child, I worried about things long before they happened. I would lie awake at night, listening to the quiet sounds of the house and imagine disasters that had not arrived yet. No one taught me how to calm my thoughts, so I learned how to live with them. I learned how to function while my mind was loud. That was my first lesson in survival. Not peace, endurance. In my 20s, I fell in love and married young. We built a life during uncertain times. Money was thin, plans felt fragile. I carried a constant fear of losing what little stability we had created. I thought if I worried enough, I could protect us from disaster. But worry does not protect anything. It only exhausts the mind. What saved me in those years was simple companionship. At the end of long days, my husband and I would sit together quietly. We did not try to fix the future. We did not analyze our fears. We simply shared space. Those moments taught me something important. Fear softens when it is witnessed. You do not have to solve it. You only have to stop carrying it alone. In my 30s, life became loud. Children arrived. Responsibilities multiplied. My days were full of tasks, but my inner world felt crowded. I loved deeply, but I began to disappear inside the role of being needed. I did not feel dramatic sadness. I felt quiet emotional exhaustion, the kind that makes you forget what rest feels like. There were mornings I woke up already tired of the day ahead. Nothing was wrong. Everything simply felt heavy. What saved me then was a small habit that seemed unimportant at the time. I began waking up 10 minutes before anyone else. I stood by the window with a cup in my hands. No one asked me anything. No one needed anything from me. Those 10 minutes reminded me that I existed beyond what I provided. They protected me from becoming a woman who only survived for others. My 40s and 50s were the most emotionally demanding years of my life. The world felt unstable. Fear lived in the air. News carried weight. Even when my home was safe, my heart was not. I worried constantly about my family. I lived in a state of quiet alertness, always preparing for something to go wrong. Then, one of my children became seriously ill. Hospitals became familiar places. Waiting rooms became part of my life. I learned how to hold my fear behind a calm face. There is a helplessness that changes you when you cannot protect your child from pain. Those months aged me more than the previous decade. I would sit alone at night and wonder how much more I could carry. I was not angry at the world. I was exhausted by it. What saved me in that season was honesty with myself. I began writing at night, not to sound wise, to empty what I was carrying. Fear on paper, anger on paper, gratitude on paper. Naming my emotions stopped them from living silently inside my body. Writing did not remove my problems, but it stopped my heart from hardening around them. In my 60s, the house grew quiet. Children grew into their own lives. The noise that once filled my days slowly disappeared. At first, the silence felt like rest. Then it felt like emptiness. For decades, I had been needed constantly. When that need softened, I began to question who I was without it. My struggle in that season was identity. If I was no longer the center of a busy household, what was my purpose? I tried staying busy. Some activities helped. Some felt hollow. What saved me was realizing that purpose is not something the past gives you. It is something you choose in the present. I began offering presence instead of usefulness, listening more than speaking, sitting with people instead of fixing them. Purpose returned quietly without needing to be loud. Then I lost my husband. After many years together, I woke up one morning and he was gone. The house changed overnight. Rooms felt larger. Silence felt heavier. People came by. They brought food. They spoke kindly. Then they returned to their lives, and I was left alone with the grief that filled every room. There were mornings I did not want to wake up, not because I wanted to die, but because I did not know how to live in a world that no longer looked like the one I had built. What saved me were small routines. I made my bed. I opened the curtains. I dressed properly even when I felt like staying in bed. These tiny actions told my mind that I was still participating in life. Participation kept me from disappearing into grief. In my 70s, I began to outlive people. Friends disappeared one by one. Memories belonged to fewer living minds. Loneliness became quieter. but deeper. There is a particular sadness in realizing that fewer people remember who you used to be. What saved me then was connection without shared history. I listened to younger people. I asked them about their fears, their hopes, their disappointments. I realized that emotions do not change with time, only the world around them does. That understanding kept me connected to life. In my 80s, my body slowed. Tasks required planning. Accepting help challenged my pride. There were moments I felt like a burden. Those thoughts can quietly erode your dignity if you let them grow. What saved me was replacing apology with gratitude. Instead of saying, "I'm sorry, I'm slow," I said, "Thank you for your patience." That small shift protected my sense of worth. In my 90s, time began to feel fragile. Years no longer stretched ahead of me in long plans. Each year felt like a gift. Fear of endings appeared in quiet moments. When fear came, I did not fight it. I grounded myself in the day I had, breathing slowly, feeling the light through the window. Presence became my safest place. Now I am 101. People still want a secret. There is no secret. The truth is, I survived because I did not let pain become my personality. I allowed myself to grieve without letting grief define me. I forgave people who never apologized. I forgave myself for the years I lived in fear. Bitterness ages you faster than time ever will. I am not here because I avoided pain. I am here because I learned how to walk beside it without letting it decide my life. Well, long life. It's not about adding years to your body. It is about subtracting emotional weight from your heart. If you are listening to me now, do not wait until your body is tired to release what is heavy inside you. Don't wait until time feels short to soften your grip on anger. Don't wait until loss teaches you what love already knows. Live lightly, love deeply, and participate in your own life while you still can. That is how I lived 101 years.